Yes, ladies and gentlemen, who wants the lottery numbers? I got it spot on in the Community Shield, and I got it spot on there tonight. Manchester United winning 1-0. Joshua Zirkzee off the bench to score with what? One of his first touches? It was a scrappy striker's goal. But they're the sorts of goals you need your strikers to score. Zirkzee, we haven't seen you at any point during pre-season. We struggled in that game without having a central figure with the two false nines. The poor finishing, we really should have scored before that, but he comes off the bench. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is the definition of an instant impact. I think Ruud van Nistelrooy scored on his debut against Fulham, and Joshua Zirkzee has done it there. It was a little bit scrappy, but as if I care. United, top of the league. Stop the count. Stop the count. United there, in my opinion, were deserved winners. All right? Bruno had 2 clear cuts. We had more opportunities. Mason Mount. The finishing wasn't there. But Zirkzee coming off the bench, man, there's an expectation of him. And I tell you what, he showed absolutely everything in that little, 25 minutes that he had as to why we signed him. The link-up play. Back to goal. Nice touches. Nice passing. But ultimately, and most importantly, the finish when we needed it. Now, in Ten Hag's first season, I really, really loved how much his subs impacted games. I think he completely lost that last season. That right there, was that Garnacho to Zirkzee? Let's just not talk about what happened at the end between Rashford and Garnacho, right? Let's just pretend that didn't happen. And let's just say, look, Zirkzee, man, hat off. That's exactly what you want from your new striker. A winning goal in front of the Stretford end on your debut. A clean sheet as well. Mazraoui, I'll be speaking about him. De Ligt coming on for his debut too. Was that a clear-cut dominant performance from United? No. And largely like the City game in the Community Shield, we were pretty poor in the first 20 and we grew into the game. And ultimately, I think that game will largely be remembered on the training ground. Well, not remembered. We got 3 points. Great. But they're going to go back and say, look, the finishing has to be better. I have to really commend Mazraoui on his debut. Played at right back. And he played very, very well. And I said at the time, and I'll say it again, and across the course of the season, there's just going to be more evidence of it. I found it very confusing as to why United fans were some United fans were up in arms about Wan-Bissaka leaving and Mazraoui coming in. There's concerns about his injuries. I'm going to be concerned about that all season. But I think you saw there why it happened. He brings something that Wan-Bissaka naturally couldn't do. He tried his best, but he couldn't do it. Mazraoui can and did there tonight. A really solid and impressive debut. And if it wasn't for that Zirkzee goal, we'd be here really frustrated as fans about the amount of chances we created that ultimately led to nothing. Bruno Fernandes with 2 in the first half. One was tough, when Leno made a mistake and it was on the outside of his right foot. Didn't quite get hold of it. But the ball through from Casemiro to Bruno, you kind of expect him to bury it. Now, that was a problem in pre-season, a problem in the City game in the Community Shield, and it was a problem there tonight. United are making chances. United didn't take enough of the chances until a certain Joshua Zirkzee came on. Oh, man, I'm so happy for him, man. You know how much stick Højlund got last season for taking as long as he did to score in the Premier League? Was it Aston Villa, his first one in the Premier League, if my memory serves me right? Zirkzee's got it, and he hasn't played a game of pre-season. 3 points there. Roy Keane was right, by the way, in what he said before the game. United need to win tonight. United need to start on the front foot. I don't think we're as good as a team that can chase points all season long. But we're sitting here top of the league going into the next game. Look, Martinez, I thought Martinez looked a little bit shaky there tonight. I think it was pointed out in commentary, which I think was spot on. Normally his passing is really solid, and it was very weak there tonight. And I thought United there, the shape, right, playing with 2 false nines. I think we're going to see that a lot this season. I was a bit confused why Neville and Carragher sort of wrote it off and said, well, there's no way that they can really play that across the course of the season. I think it really suits the squad that we've got. And it massively suits Zirkzee. And I think you saw that in the gameplay there. He likes to drop deep. He doesn't like being a number 9. He's not a number 9. He called himself a 9.5. Will that change maybe when Rasmus Højlund comes in? Potentially. But I also still think that both of those could play in a false 9 together. And I'm not sure where that would leave Bruno Fernandes. We've still got plenty of room for improvement. And that is, of course we do. It's the first game of the season, but we were very shaky in all of pre-season. There were some good elements, there were some bad elements. But it's been a pretty broken pre-season. Zirkzee, that was his first minutes for the club. Yoro, he's going to be out for 3 months. De Ligt came on to make his debut. He hadn't played for us in pre-season. Mazraoui came on and made his He started and made his debut. It's going to take time for these players to settle in. And I think the fact that we started so slow in the Community Shield and started so slow there tonight, and we came into it, something I really enjoyed the whole way through was the fact that Manchester United weren't trying to pass it through the lines at a million miles an hour. You have to be a little bit patient watching that style of football as fans, and ultimately United have to be better at it. We have to be quicker tempo out from the back, quicker tempo passing to each other. And that's not there in the first game, and I wouldn't really expect it to be. But ultimately, United have got the 3 points there that the start of our season needed. Perfect. 1-0, and as I said at the start of the video, anybody want their lottery numbers, all right? Because that is 2 absolutely bang-on predictions, and hilariously, I didn't put a bet on either. I really should have done that, but famously, I'm very good for ignoring... Famously? I just made something up there. I don't really care. I'm just delighted for United to get 3 points. I'm delighted for Zirkzee personally, because coming to Manchester United from Bologna, just like Højlund last season, it's a huge step up and the expectation is massive. So for him to do that, immediately he'll feel more at home. And to do it in front of the Stretford end, fantastic as well. And as I said, I really think that Mazraoui was very impressive on his debut too. So that's 2 debutants that were massively involved in United winning 1-0 there today. I thought Harry Maguire played pretty well as well the whole game. I thought Casemiro played well as well. Although something that frustrated me quite a bit, and it probably will all season, when Casemiro runs forward, I'm not against Casemiro running forward, but when that happens, Mainu, cover the space. Don't go with him. Same on the reverse. When Mainu goes forward, Casemiro, drop into the space and cover. Happened a couple of times there. United still getting hit on the counter-attack, and if it wasn't for Harry Maguire sticking out a leg, Fulham would have been through 2-on-1. It feels good. Like last season, we won the first game of the season against Wolves, but you know the Onana one where he came in and just punched the player. We got played through the whole game, counter after counter after counter. That happened a few times there today. So some problems that we saw last season, but overall, it felt a lot more secure. It felt a lot more solid. And when we've got next game, you might see De Ligt make his full debut. In time, we will see Yoro making his debut. And Zirkzee, hopefully now that means he's going to be fit to start against Brighton. But that was the perfect start for him. And by the way, Garnacho coming off the bench, just like he did against City, made an impact, made a difference. And that's what you need your bench to do. Winning the league is a marathon. Winning a game is sometimes a marathon. It's not all about the starting 11. It's about the players that can come off the bench and change the game. And Zirkzee did that with one of his first touches, scoring his first goal in front of a jubilant Stretford end. Man United, first game of the season. The weekend could have been ruined, but it wasn't. Perfect for Zirkzee and perfect for United.